All right, focusing on the necessary, foregoing the unnecessary is a message from our gospel reading today. Or said another way, by reducing what's unnecessary in our lives, we make room for what's necessary. By reducing what's unnecessary, we make room for what's necessary. We see this message, this dynamic in our gospel reading today in the interactions between Martha, Mary, and Jesus. We've got Mary sitting at the Lord's feet, the posture of a learning disciple, the posture of reverence. And then we've got Martha, who is burdened with much serving. And Jesus says that she's anxious and worried about many things. Much service, many things, much and many. Did the disciples and Jesus require much service and many things? Perhaps, since they were there for dinner, many dishes? Or would they perhaps have been satisfied with simple service and maybe a single dish? What do you think? Probably the latter. Martha, in her example, is focusing on the unnecessary as opposed to focusing on what's necessary. She's concerned, her concern with what's unnecessary, not Mary's lack of assistance, is what keeps her from having enough time to sit at the Lord's feet and to listen to his words, to partake in the better part, as Jesus says, the better part. And why is listening to Jesus the better part? Well, because he's the Son of God. Because he is the second person of the Trinity. He's true God and true man. But the better part, Jesus also notes, can't be taken away from Mary. It can't be taken away from us. The better part is lasting. The better part is significant. The better part is eternal. No one could deny us of the better part. But the much and the many in our lives are fleeting. They're temporary. They could be discarded. They could be thrown away or stolen or taken away from us. But not true of the better part. The better part is better because it's from Jesus, but also because it's eternal. Now, we're very much like Martha in our gospel reading. We're concerned with the unnecessary at the expense of what's necessary. And are we any better off for it? Let's look at some examples. Is what we spend our money on making us the best version of ourselves and impacting our communities and the world in a positive way? Is the time we spent binge watching? Anybody guilty of binge watching? Anybody guilty of binge watching? This estimate is severely understated right here. It's way up there. It's way up there, binge watching. Yeah. Is the time we spent binge watching? Is the time we spent updating Facebook, posting on Snapchat, liking this or that, is that fulfilling us? Making us feel better? Most definitely not. Where's my gamers? Where's my gamers at? Show of hands for my gamers. Okay, come on, it's okay. Even if you're a middle-aged man and you're a gamer, that's okay too. I know that they're there. The daughter just raised her dad's hand. You know, is the time that we spend on Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Overwatch, the countless hours, is that lasting? Is that significant? Is that something that's having a positive impact? Most definitely not. We, like Martha, concern ourselves with the unnecessary at the expense of the necessary. Spending time with, listening to, and imitating Jesus. Okay, I got an exercise. People are falling asleep. Take your phone out. I got permission from Father Arthur to take your phones out. I know we don't normally take our phones out in church. And I know that everybody here has a phone, so don't pretend that you don't have a phone and you keep it in your pocket. You don't have a phone? You're a little young. Does Mom and Dad have a phone? Yeah, they got them out. Okay, what I want you to do is where's my daughter at? Yeah, take your phone out. Oh, they don't have their phones either? I'm not buying that either. Okay, I want you to take a note to yourself or to send a message to yourself. If you didn't know this already, you can text yourself through your phone, okay? So take a note to yourself or write a message to yourself. Answer the question, what's an unnecessary in my life that comes at the expense of a necessary? What's an unnecessary in my life that comes at the expense of a necessary? Now, I'm not saying that you have to give it up, although you probably could. But what could you spend less on or do less of any given day? Spend less time on, spend less money on. Okay? Now, before you save that note or send that message, I want you to ask yourself, too, what's a necessary that I could add back in place of that unnecessary? What's a necessary, okay? The corporal spiritual works of mercy. Maybe picking up a new charity, for instance. Okay? Spending time in silent prayer. Praying the rosary. Praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Writing a letter to someone that's alone. Reaching out to someone that's struggling. Spending time with Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. Now that you've got your necessary, go ahead and save that note or go ahead and send that message now. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's try to be more like Mary and less like Martha from our gospel reading today. Let's remember our message from today. By reducing the unnecessary, we make room for what's necessary. Jesus, his example, time with him, our necessities in our lives. Revisit that note or that message. Do you see the unnecessary that's going to make room for that necessary? I hope you do.